Is giving back good business or just good PR? Giving back and giving with a purpose.
He's like, he goes, you gave me a paper check. I was like, yeah, I print off your check because I'm going to fire you. Got caught stealing, and breaking my keyboard in half and putting a hole in my wall. Like, brand new office. Yeah, you're fired. He's like, man, can I go cash that check and I'll be right back? And I was like.
So today we're going to talk about balancing giving and profits. And we're going to start with giving as a company.
Like philanthropy?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, philanthropy is the individual or company's duty, I would say, in some degree, to
I
give
looked it
back.
up. I ChatGPT'd it.
Oh, ChatGPT'd it.
I looked it up. It's from the origin of Greek, like
Okay.
everything
I didn't
is.
know that, but,
and it means the love of humanity.
It means what?
The love of humanity.
Yeah, so giving back to humanity,
Yeah.
right? With whatever you determine to give back. Could be everything you have, could be a little bit. But we have some direct experience in this. And I wanted to start with, right now and today, what I do as the president of On-Call Services. And I can say this, is that when you're first starting out, I didn't give as much as what I do now. So it came for me in the position that I'm in, the more profits that I make, the more that I give back.
So you feel guilty because you're rich?
Kinda. No, I don't even say guilty.
You just admitted it.
It's not guilty. I wouldn't say the word, but I feel it's easier. It's easier to give the more money that you have.
I don't disagree.
So, on that topic, right? What do I do right now? So it started out pretty simple for me. Is just the people who, and this is directly related to this first one, is directly related to sponsorships. Which, if you have a business, there's no doubt that people are going to start showing up at your door wanting you to sponsor one thing or another.
Oh man, I probably at least sponsored at least 500 T-ball teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the T-ball freaking soccer teams, T-ball teams, softball teams. I haven't got very many basketball ones.
So I've done a lot of Little League. Yeah, that's where I kind of started.
I don't know how I don't weigh 300 pounds. I've at least bought like 9,000 Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, I don't want to go there, man. Girl Scout cookies are going to be the death of
Well,
me.
you know what? That's kind of like a greedy philanthropy.
Yeah.
When you go to those silent auctions at Ducks Unlimited and it's going for the right cause, they tell what, silent bidding, you're bidding on this stuff. And my wife's like, well, that's a perfect tax write-off, Just donate to this cause and you get something. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can overpay.
That makes sense. Yeah, side story is that we did that, and we were highly intoxicated one night. Do you remember the
Oh, yeah, we bought what did we buy? We bought
a pheasant trip to North Dakota. We bought an Argentina trip that I could never get booked still to this day. That was like 4 years ago.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Let's get that figured out.
It might be out of Dove down there.
So, giving back and giving with a purpose, right? And everybody's different. So, as me, what I did is it started smaller, and it was more to people who worked for me. Their sons or their daughters were on a team that needed sponsored for jerseys or basketballs or trips, right, to go to their sporting events that are in Florida and where have you. That's where I kind of laid my groundwork as the president here. And then it's expanded from there, right? We give to, what's the one we just did? It was on HGTV. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it.
Wounded Warriors or something like that.
Soldier's Wish. I think that was it.
We had all kinds of stuff for that thing.
Yeah.
That was thousands of dollars.
So you can just give personal dollars, right? That's how it started for me. And then you can also give better rates. So let's not forget about that. Right, and that's what we do to that's what I do to, personal friends and family and different things. Is that I give better rates to people, and to organizations too that are supporting different causes. Right,
the ones that I believe in.
If it's not a direct cash monetary value, there's another way to look at this. Is we give strategic way reduced rates that do equal dollars.
And that's, from a business, you're always going to get promoted to, give something away to a church or a nonprofit organization or a friend or a family. They're always looking for something, right? And at first, I'd be like, God, these guys are just bugging me. But at the end of the day, everybody has a good heart behind it and a good initiative. But the most of these things are running off a very shoestring budget, you know what I mean? And they're trying to get freebies at wherever they can, so you can't blame them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're looking at it like, man, I'm not giving away my time to do these things. You're doing the right thing, but I still have to make money.
Yeah, and you still have to balance it, right? You have to balance what you're giving away. You still got to maintain a business. But like I said, it's been easier for me. The more profits that we make, the more that we give back. And I find new avenues to go down too. And another kind of a cool thing that we do is, you can use that for team building too, right? And Mike and their team does this over at Imperial, which I thought was really cool. Is the owner will set aside a certain amount of budget for his team, and they have a team surrounded that, and that team's agenda is the philanthropic agenda to go find places based on a set of parameters on where to put the money.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because they use it as like a team building exercise. So,
that's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
You haven't presented that yet?
I haven't.
Oh
no, but it's a great idea. So, really cool that he does that, and they do great work. They do the Lights Under the City or whatever. Remember you?
Oh yeah, we started that. I was there for Power and Lights or something like that.
Yeah. So
they do haircuts
anyways,
and all kinds of stuff.
Imperial Vending Co. They're great. They do a whole lot of philanthropic work.
But hey, you know what? Being in the entrepreneur world, giving back can sometimes feel like you just want to bang your head against the wall.
What do you mean by that?
I have given people, and I don't know if you call this philanthropy or just feeling sorry for them or whatever it is, but giving people breaks when they steal from you and they tell you the sob story and you fall into it and you give somebody off, and then giving some, worst one I had right now, I got a friend of mine, he was asking my advice over business for a period of time, and the next thing you know, he's my competitor.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hate when that happens.
And then sometimes it's not somebody so close that things that come and, come back and haunt you. Sometimes it's just like, some family, it could be family. That's business. This one could be family. We given one time, I'll give you a perfect example. This is a funny one. So we helped somebody that's very close to my wife, AKA kind of maybe her sister.
Oh, God.
And we started a GoFundMe page for her kid. And next thing you know, she wanted to use the GoFundMe money, and we were in charge of it to go on a vacation. Oh. We're like, no, this is going to your kid.
That works.
They got all mad and all bent out of shape. And the people that were giving the money were people we knew. We're like, no, we're not going to do that. And it could cause some issues. I'll tell you a funny one. One time I gave a guy a car because he didn't have a ride home. So I was like, I'll just go buy you a car. So I bought him a car, right? And I think it was on a previous episode I told you about this. Bought this guy a car, one of my first. You're going to give more to holding your employees tight and motivating them to work with you. Believe it or not, young entrepreneurs are the most philanthropic people possible. Because I give cars and gas and all these people a sob stories because you can't afford to lose an employee. You don't have backups.
Yeah,
so you bend over backwards more as a newer entrepreneur than you do a more seasoned one with more redundancies, right? Mm-hmm. But I gave this guy a car, and 2 years ago, when we had this business, I got a call from a salvage yard. He quit me, didn't show up, didn't pay his bill, and I was like, oh, car's gone. A couple $1,000, move on with my life. I get a call from a salvage yard. Hey, Mr. Cardinley, do you have a Grand Am, Pontiac Grand Am? I was like, no, this is 12 years ago. I was like, no. You're like, well, this guy named Bill XYZ is here to salvage it. And he has a lien on it because I put a lien on the title because he owed me some money, right? And he can't salvage it with a lien on it. What do you want him to do with this car? I was like, tell him to take that back home. That's my car. So he can salvage it and take it all the way back. And then I give you one I just did. Because I like giving away random stuff, not just stuff to church and stuff. That's my wife loves that stuff. I like doing random when I see somebody that really needs help. I'm like, you remember the other day when we were playing golf at what was that course you dragged me to? You talking about it had holes in the course.
Goat Hill?
No, the one we just played over here with your buddy that in the lawn care business. And it was 25 degrees.
Oh, I've only been to that course one time. It's Tulsa. It's in the middle of Tulsa.
Yeah, it's a public course in Tulsa, but we left there, and it wasn't on the best side of town, and it was actually down the road from this. But and there was a grocery store, and I had to grab some things. I'll just go in there, right? This lady in front of me she had all these groceries, and you can tell she was on government assistance. Nothing wrong with that. I've been on that too, but she was on those programs, and she had no money. She had a kid on her hip, no money. It was like, didn't know what to do. She was stressed out. She probably had like 60 credit cards in her wallet, dude. It was crazy. So she was just embarrassed. I felt bad for her. So she came back in, and I had like 5 items. And I'm getting filet mignon and, garlic butter to put on it. And this lady's over here ordering stuff and she had a kid on her hip. I felt so bad. So I was like, hey, don't tell her any of this because I don't want to be caught in this. I was just like, swipe a credit card. So I was like, just put it on there. She's like, well, I don't have that. I'd have to ring it all up. So luckily she printed off a ticket, popped it, like $290. Like, God dang. Take back this, take back that. No, I'm just joking. And I paid for it, and somebody told her that line because I was putting those steaks in my deal. She ran out there freaking out. I was like, oh gosh. She looked like somebody you didn't want to mess with. And she was running out there, and I was like, oh gosh. And she was like freaked out and was like super like, I don't know what to do. Like, I was freaking out. I don't have any money. And like told me this whole story for like 5 minutes sitting in the parking lot. And I'm over here like, no, not groceries are still in the deal. Groceries are still. I was like, where you like you didn't? I know I paid for them, but like you didn't have. Where are your groceries at? Told her to go back in there and grab them, And she was freaking out because I bought this grocery bill, and she was like, I literally didn't have any. I thought I had money on this, but I literally didn't have any money to eat this week. This is what I was buying.
Weird, isn't that?
I was like, what the? I don't think about those things at this point in my life, but here in the U.S., there's people literally, it wasn't a lot for me, but it was a lot for her at the point in time, and I'm sure she's going to get her feet back on the ground, but like, I don't think about going to a grocery store and eating. Like, I just go buy what I want and I go to the deal.
Are you saying you just don't look at the price tag?
I mean, I still look at the price tags. The other day, I knew that egg prices were wrong. I heard about them on Fox News and CNN, but I didn't really realize how wrong they were. And I bought like way too many because I thought what I heard was they were running out of eggs.
Shortage.
Yeah, it wasn't really an egg shortage. It was an egg price gouging. Yeah, because when I looked at it, I was like,
gotcha.
They're like, so point is, giving back can be in a lot of different ways. That was one thing. I haven't told anybody that. That was one thing I gave back the other day. I was like, it makes me feel awkward to give to people. Yeah,
it is for me too. And that's what I wanted to get you next, was giving back on an individual level, right? And for me, we give at church, and I'm the guy that is a sucker for anybody sitting outside a Quick Trip. You know what I mean? Like outside the gas station. That it's so sad to see. And if I have some extra change, extra money on me, a lot of times I give it to them. I don't know if I just got that look about me that
you kind of look like a wimp.
Easy.
Like you look like I could get money out of you.
Well, that hurts my feelings. Not really, but I don't have any feelings. But just ask my wife. She tells me all the time, you have no feelings. So, on the individual level, for me, I give more. I'll be honest to tell you, is I give more of the business's money than my own. But
most people do want other people's money.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you, man. But we get back at church, and I'm the guy that gives to the people at the corners. That's really what I am. And the people that really, really need it, and you can tell. And sometimes I talk to them a little bit too. I'm like, you're not using this to go get some dope, are you?
Oh, hell yeah.
And they always tell you, no. I'm like, all right. Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta, trust that they're gonna do the right thing.
Yeah. And I am a pretty trusting guy. We did one on management and, my styles and different things. And I can be a little more trusting.
I gotta tell you the story.
All right, over here.
Oh, God, you're gonna like this story. You remember the guy that we had in our room and he was stealing from us and I caught him?
Which one?
The one, multiple. I don't even know his name, but I'm sitting at the gym, my phone rings, and he breaks the keyboard, he does all this stuff. He's freaking out.
That was on the septic and plumbing side. Yes.
So he goes to my office. He gives me this big, long story. I got this guy on camera. Like, it's done deal, right?
Is this you?
He comes back in, he's like, man, I'm so sorry. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm going to call the cops. I've stood in protocol. You still from calling the cops, right? And he's like, he goes, you gave me a paper check. I was like, yeah, I printed off your check because I'm going to fire you. Got caught stealing, and breaking my keyboard in half and putting a hole in my wall. Like, brand new office. Yeah, you're fired. He's like, man, can I go cash that check and I'll be right back? And I was like, you're going to be right back. If I hand you this check, you're going to come right back. This is Friday at like 2 o'clock. I said, where do you bank at? And he told me where he banked at. I was like, I looked it up. I was like, okay, there's one 10 minutes away from here. You can make it back. I'll be here till 5:30.
I remember this like it was yesterday.
So everybody around me was like, don't hand me that check. And I gave this guy his check. I haven't heard from him since.
God. Yeah, man. It's sad because I feel like as a whole, in what I'm doing individually and as a business, we give back a lot. We really do. And I know you do too, personally, and not only just like say monetary, but I give back, and he's even worse than I am, but I give a lot of time to people who I'm trying to help, right? People call me wanting advice on this or that or the other. He's the worst. And I say that in a good way, right? But I'm all the time like, dude, you spend so much time with these different people, and like we are taking away from your own visions and goals that we're doing, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. So don't take that way. Right. But, giving time is a real thing. And, if you're a business owner, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing that Josh and I do, where people come up to you and, if you're successful, they want to know what you think. And I want you to look over this deal, or how do you do this and how do you do that? And what books are you reading, and blah, 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 blah.
We don't read books, remember? I mean, we do read books.
I don't read them. I listen to them. Yeah. But I do listen to them. And I listen to them a lot. I listen to a lot of books, believe it or not, because I've been doing a lot of traveling back and forth from OKC. So it's 2 hours. My deal is if I have an hour or more, I have enough time to like sit down, think about it, and listen to it. But if it's an hour or under, I don't really.
And this is something, somebody told me when I was giving up a lot of time to somebody, because my wife likes giving physical dollars. I like seeing if I could put something in somebody that motivates them and see what they can do with it. Yeah. Especially if they're really passionate about it, and I see they have something in their eye, knowing that most of the time they're not going to make it. But if I can get one out of the weeds here and there, and they start thriving, obviously you got to be humble enough to go ask somebody for their advice anyway.
Well, the funny thing is
I get like, no joke, I get like 15, 20 calls a week.
Oh, I guarantee it. But the funny thing is that's kind of what we're doing here.
No, for sure.
Not even kind of. It is exactly what we're doing. We're giving our time, right? We make $0, so
Yeah, YouTube pays real well.
Yeah, YouTube pays a whole whopping. It costs us thousands of dollars a month to do this, but we do it because we care.
I think it's therapy.
It kind of is. I've learned some things doing this. Communicating, and this is very awkward, anyways. If anybody's ever done something like this, it's kind of different, and. It's helped me overcome some things personally, but we do this really, we're giving our time to people who are looking to be entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs that are trying to learn lessons. So we're teaching them, and we're giving up our time to do so, and right now it's just on our own dollars.
I mean, obviously we have a goal in this to start making money, but we also are doing this because we actually enjoy doing it, and we are teaching people things, and we are learning ourselves, a different skill set. But we'll end it with this. Like, for me, it's not about the money. Sometimes, in my position where I'm at right now, when I have somebody that just gives up their time, that's more than they can probably give me financially. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When somebody genuinely really wants to help, because I'm not the most handy person in the world, somebody wants to go help me come do something or do something out of their goodness of their heart, that probably means more than it's probably giving me $1 or $2. That's not going to be really that impactful. You know what I mean? So now I know what old people feel like. You know what I mean? I don't need your money. I just want your time. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a kid. They want your time. Yep. You know what I mean? And then you start becoming successful and everybody else wants your time. Yeah. And then you give your time, and you're going to give your time to people that are not good people. You're going to give your time to people that become your competitors. You're going to give your time to employees that steal from you and lie from you, but just keep on doing the right thing, and eventually it's going to pay back. And I can't tell you how many stories I've given up my time, and 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, they come back and they say, man, this helped me out. Or I lose touch with them, and the next thing you know, I see they're running a successful company. I walk in the door and they're like, holy crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't all because of me, or any of it was because of me, but it was just neat to see that, hey, I did give up some time. That guy took any of it or all of it, and look at him now.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to have people around you that will be willing to give up some time. I've had my people around me. Eric's had his own circumstances, but it doesn't have to be all about money. It doesn't have to be even about time or money. It could be just little things. It could be gifts or food or whatever it may be in your world at that time. But it can be a very big win-win for both, because I do get a good feeling when I give away something. Maybe I'm not in the best situation to give that away, but every single time I do it, I do walk away feeling better.
Yeah.
I might walk away feel awkward, but I do walk away feeling better.
Yeah, actually, giving is a little weird to me too. But so is receiving. Receiving, I think, is even more weird than giving is for me. But last thing I'll leave you with is, philanthropic efforts are needed. Obviously, you want to make sure you have profits, or your own profits, right? I wouldn't suggest giving away everything that you have, but some people do, and that's your prerogative, then that's fine.
Bill Gates says he is.
He says he is, yeah. I have my own feelings about Bill Gates, but we're not going to go there on this podcast. So the last thing, like I said, is, you got to balance that. And then, a lot of things are coming to light that I knew to be the truth when it comes to nonprofit organizations. So I can say that be very selective of who you give to, and what percentage of that actually goes to actually help people.
What are you talking about? The nonprofit presidents that drive Ferraris and Lamborghinis?
Those ones, yeah, have multiple houses and like monster houses. So, those people are out there. So don't be naive. Do your research. If you're going to give,
trust but verify.
Trust but verify. If you're going to give, make sure you do your research, and you're given to an actual cause that the money is going to that. Now, and I know nonprofits aren't free to run, right? But they don't need to be taking 50% of the proceeds, right? So
they need to run their own Doge.
Yeah, they run their own Doge. Yeah, they don't want to. So be careful. Appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
And do something good.
That's right.